Welcome back. The United Nations is launching a new legal fight against Malawi over its laws that make homosexuality illegal. But Malawi is not the only country where being gay is a crime. Homosexuality is illegal in nearly 80 countries, and that includes 35 of them in Africa, among them Nigeria, Somalia, Sudan, Mauritania as well, where homosexuality is punishable by death. Also, 20 countries in Asia, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Yemen, where homosexuality is also punishable by death. And joining me now, Daily Beast foreign correspondent and columnist James Kirchick, who wrote this article, The Curious Case of Countries Where Being Gay is a Crime. Thank you so much. I've been wanting to talk to you about this since I saw you posted this article, and now we have this latest development where the UN now is launching this legal fight against Malawi, who, like a number of other countries, depend on support from Western countries, the U.S. in particular, who have admonished and pointed out the cruelty of these laws, particularly where it's punishable by death to be gay.
Right. And in Nigeria, it's very strange because this bill, it's called the Prohibition of Same-Sex Marriage Act. And same-sex marriage is already, it's not legal in Nigeria. It never has been. Sodomy is against the law in Nigeria. It always has been. What this does is it makes it illegal to even have a private ceremony. Yeah. So anyone who has a private ceremony where they want to get married, there's no legal recognition of that. They can now go to jail for 14 years. And it also makes it illegal to belong to a gay organization. So gay or straight people who are members of a gay group can go to jail for 10 years. So it's not just a violation of gay people's rights, it's a violation of everyone's rights and basic freedom of association.
I mean, listen, January 16th, there was a report, BBC, a Nigerian man received 20 lashes after an Islamic court convicted him of homosexual offenses. We know that there have been several reports of roundups happening as of late as well in Nigeria and other places where some men have even reportedly disappeared and haven't been seen since they were brought in.
Yes, I mean, the police have reportedly rounded up dozens of men. They've tortured and blackmailed them into extracting the names of other gay people. There's apparently a list going around with the names of hundreds of men. And you mentioned that it is punishable by death in some of the Muslim parts of Nigeria. Now, Nigeria it's a country that's roughly divided evenly between Muslim and Christian, and there's been tension over the years. Boko Haram, which is an insurgency group, and this is one of the issues where Christians and Muslims can agree in that country. And so I think it's a politically motivated act on behalf of the government to try to unite the country behind this particular regime right now.
Which is what you point out in your piece. You wrote, homophobia in the developing world is not just a mass phenomenon. It serves as a populist agenda for unscrupulous political leaders. But back to the U.S. and any influence it may or may not have. For example, in Nigeria, where the influence or aid of the United States is not needed, many wonder what can be done.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, Nigeria gets a lot of money in terms of AIDS, fighting AIDS, all throughout Africa. So this is an area where I think the White House and the administration, Congress, they have a lot of leverage here. And they should make it clear to these governments that if they want to continue receiving the largesse of the U.S. government, then they shouldn't be allowed to inflict these laws. And particularly on HIV prevention, it makes it very difficult to accomplish that task when you're criminalizing and driving gay men who suffer from this disproportionately underground. This is going to make that problem worse.
Well, it was 2011 in Geneva. At the time, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called out for the rights of gay people to be respected. But she did not outline sanctions for countries that fail to reform. Is it likely that we will see that next, particularly with some of these roundups and these brutal crackdowns that we're seeing?
Well, there's a bill that applies to Russia right now called the Magnitsky Act, and that puts visa freezes and asset freezes on Russian officials implicated in human rights abuses. And we've called for this law to be applied to Russian abusers of gay rights. And there's now a movement in Congress from Senators Cardin, a Democrat, and McCain to expand this law globally, to make it so that any human rights abuser around the world, political leaders, private citizens, will face sanctions, and they'll have visas to America withdrawn, and they can have any assets that they have in American banks frozen. And so I think that this is one opportunity where we can see some action.
Well, your reporting is great on this. James, thank you very much, and people should go on the Daily Beast and check out your article.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Great. Still ahead, our News Nation gut check. One of the California police officers acquitted in the beating death of a mentally ill homeless man. Well, he's now trying to get his job back. I will talk with the father of that man.